welcome to those that are watching via cable. And
Could I have a roll call, please?
Finkler. Here. Hammer.
Here.
Lawson.
Here.
Meyer.
Here.
Reed. Here. Relke. Here. Rostat.
Here.
I acknowledge this meeting was posted and noticed according to law.
All right, thank you. And I will now open the public hearing. First, we will hear from City Administrator Matt Amundson.
Good evening. Council in front of you has a packet of information, including a updated 2026 budget. Late last week, thanks to an email from a watchful citizen, kind of dug into, we had made the amendment to the budget to make sure that the general fund met the expenditure restraint requirements. It's actually any fund that receives a levy. So the special revenue funds that receive a levy also cannot exceed that 3% growth of expenditure restraint. There's a memo that lays out the changes that have been made. I've got a PowerPoint that'll kind of go through this and hopefully a better keep me on task rather than jumping all over the place. Again, the process and timeline that we've been on, we've arrived on the November 4th public hearing. The council agenda later this evening has the ability for you to approve the budget, or you could take time, take input received at the public hearing and approve or adopt the budget on November 18th. The following changes have been made since the budget ad was finalized. The budget ad was finalized on October 15th, published in the paper. And when we make changes from the time that occurs, we just have to be able to explain what changes have been made. So this will go through and summarize those changes. The total tax levy was reduced to $2,685,075.65, which in turn reduced total taxes to $3,140,875.65. We moved a number of program revenues from that are on page 3 associated with recreation and the community center. They were moved to a new special revenue fund on page 26. One of the benefits of moving the recreation and community center to a new special revenue fund is when they have revenues that exceed their expenditures, that'll go into a fund balance where they can then store up those funds for large planned purchases or reinvest in new equipment. There's really a litany of things that can be done. That's something that I went through in Whitewater and in Middleton, where we moved recreation programming essentially from the general fund to its own special revenue fund. It really creates a motivation for the rec programmers to make sure that they're running effective programming that's cost effective, because ultimately they benefit from having revenues that exceed expenditures. And then the other revenue change, total general fund revenues, because of that, were reduced to $5,374,112.95. Expenses, we reduced contingency to $437,158.21. The merit pay was reduced to $45,000. Again, the merit pay fund can be used for wage adjustments and or the implementation of a merit program, or likely both. Once the budget's approved, we'll be working on what that merit pay program will look like. Ultimately, department heads will be involved in making, my version of this is department heads would be involved in making recommendations for merit pay increases. And then I would put those together and bring to council something that fits with the allocated funds. We're also working on a wage study, kind of an in-house wage study right now, that any pay adjustments needed to be made because of that wage study. This could be a funding source for those as well. The health, dental, vision of the treasurer was reduced a small amount. Community center and recreation expenses were again moved to that same special revenue fund. and total general fund expenses were reduced to $5,374,112.95, which matches the revenues. Because the stormwater fund receives a levy, last year's construction project on Brookside for stormwater was $40,000. This year, School Street's stormwater portion's $245,000. I can't do the math to make that a 3% expenditure restraint, if you're catching me. So what we did is we moved these to the moved this project to capital projects where the rest of our debt-funded projects are located, and alleviated that change and helped the stormwater fund also qualify for expenditure restraint. So this is the budget ad that was posted on October 15th. I know it's small. Council has a paper copy of this in front of them. And then any changes made from that budget ad are in red. So the changes that I just went through are all reflected on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, on Friday, we received our audited financial statements. So we were able to make adjustments based on the audited statements to our fund balances. So those are all trued up. Some of them were rather small changes. Some were more significant, but we've got all of those fund balances now properly accounted for on this document and in the final budget. So to summarize, property tax levy and the changes, on the left-hand column, you're going to see the numbers from the October 16th budget ad. And on the right-hand side, you're going to see the updated numbers as of today. A lot of these stayed the same. Obviously, there's the addition of the recreation, there's the reduction of the general fund, and you see the stormwater staying the same as we remove the project to capital projects. Tax rate, again, you've seen this slide. This is the adjusted city levy and projected total levy all jurisdictions. Again, it's a projection based on historical data. That's not that's a number that ultimately the county will determine once they receive. How do we submit this to the county? The county gets numbers from the school district, the Madison College, and the city, and then calculates the total levy for our jurisdiction. So this would be the city portion of a tax bill. This is on an average assessed home of $262,700. You're looking at a change or an increase in the city portion of property taxes, $130.83. We've created this receipt that you've seen. This has been updated to reflect these numbers and shows of that. You see this. The tax bill on an average assessed home, the city portion of that is just under $1,800. What we do with this receipt document is it's just a visual to show the breakdown of each department and what a average assessed home's taxes, how that's broken down and pays for city services. So you have everything from the police department at $380.36 to emergency management at $4.79. Our levy calculation, the levy is $4,498,574. Our allowable levy from the state is $3,617,857. How we get to that $4.498 million number is our debt service adjustment of $880,000. You'll see we do have some cushion for that I'm projecting will likely not exist in future years, and that will be tied to a levy based on what our allowable debt service adjustment can be. Any questions? I just want to make sure that I highlighted everything, which I feel like I did from my memo.
Alder Meyer. I got two things.
And I want to preface that I probably shouldn't have asked for questions at this time, since it's a
True, it's
public
actually
hearing,
the public
so-
hearing, so we'll have to wait until we get into. So anybody from the general public which wishes to speak? Anybody from the public that wishes to speak?
I think somebody should. Kelly Crombie. So just wanted to thank the city for continuing to offer the full services that we enjoy here in Columbus, from paramedic level EMS service, which I think is very important to continue. Paramedic, not just EMT level, but paramedic, fire department, police department, 24/7 coverage. We have rec, library, senior center that a lot of cities don't have. So just wanted to point that out and at least have one resident present.
Thank you. Anybody else wish to speak? Anybody else wish to speak? Okay, at this point, then I would look for a motion to close the public hearing.
So move.
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Alder Meyer, second by Alder Rolke to close public hearing. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. And then I would look for a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, motion by Alder Finkler, second by Alder Meyer. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, public hearing is adjourned. We will then move on to, let me get my agenda for the, okay, welcome to the Common Council meeting of Tuesday, November 4th of 2025, and welcome to those that are watching via cable. And could I have a roll call, please?
Finkler. Here. Hammer.
Here.
Lawson.
Here.
Meyer.
Here.
Reed. Here. Relke. Here. Rostet.
Here.
Watch your heads. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I acknowledge this meeting was posted and noticed according to law.
Okay, thank you. At this time, I then would look for a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
Move to approve tonight's agenda.
Okay, motion by Alder Finkler, second by Alder Meyer. Any discussion on the agenda? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, agenda approved. Public comment, anybody for public comment at this meeting? Yep, up there. Name and address.
Oh, wait a minute, he didn't do address. Michelle Stark, 661 Meadow Lane, Columbus, Wisconsin. I would like to address the police department giving out tickets when we have huge snowfalls while they're parked on the street so they can shovel their driveways. I know last year I didn't get a ticket, but they came up the driveway while I was shoveling to remind me that I couldn't be allowed on the street. It would be kindly appreciated if you did not let your officers fine people who are just trying to clear their driveways out. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else for public comment? Okay, hearing none, then in front of you, you have committee minutes for file for CDA of August 18th, 25, HLPC of July 23rd of 25, Library of September 16th of 25, Public Spaces of October 13th of 25, and Tourism from August 11th of 2025. Next would be to approve the consent agenda, and that is the Committee of the Whole and Common Council meeting minutes from October 21st of 2025.
We'll move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Okay, motion by Alder Meyer, second by Alder Rosted. Any further discussion on this? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, next would be to consider and take action on Resolution 13-25, a resolution for 2026 budget adoption and approval of a tax levy for the City of Columbus and tax incremental districts. I will note that the numbers have been updated, so where the paragraph is now, therefore be it resolved, the number should be $498,574. And then the other amount down below in that same paragraph is $563,362. So I would look for a motion to approve the resolution with those changes.
I will move to approve Resolution 13-25 with the stated changes.
Second.
Okay, motion by Alder Meyer, second by Alder Finkler. Any discussion on this? Hearing none. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah,
Okay, since I couldn't talk in the public hearing.
that's right.
Couple of things that I want to keep in mind. I know that you stated that you budgeted $45,000 for a merit implementation, plus you guys are doing wage analysis, which is great. Do we have the potential changes that the PD budgeted into this budget? That's one of the questions I forgot to ask you about.
All changes to the police department that have been discussed are included in this 2026 budget. And I think that's important thing to note is that's a substantial investment for the city. It's already having tangible results with employment applications. I know Chief has said that he's seen, and I'm going to quote this wrong, but we've had more applications in 2 weeks than in 2 years. Am I close?
I'd say a year.
Okay,
But,
a
yeah,
year.
They started coming right away as soon as I recently posted it just a few weeks ago, so.
So there is optimism that we will be closer to complete staffing in the PD. To my knowledge, we've not been fully staffed in 5 years at the police department, and I believe we have all full-time vacancies, with the exception of the police department, are currently filled in the city.
Does the wage analysis that you guys are doing pertain to the PD as well? Non-union?
Non-sworn, non-union positions
Yeah.
we are looking at, yes.
Okay.
And I think, it's tough to get the union figures, but I know in our conversation in the negotiation, the union rep felt that we were going to be much more competitive in the region and in communities our size.
And then the last one, again, back to the merit budget that you have at $45,000. This is more of a statement. I want to make sure that we get a merit implementation in this year. I think it's extremely important to reward our good workers within the city that come to work and put 125% in every single day. I don't want to see them getting the same 2.5% as somebody who's not pulling their weight. So I think, in my opinion, that merit process definitely needs to be a top priority for 2026.
And just to answer that, staff is working on what a policy and program would look like to bring back to the council, whether that happens late this year or early next year. It is a priority project to get wrapped up.
Okay, Alder Rustin?
I guess I'll bring up the cemetery. We all received a letter, and only one council member reached out to me asking for some explanation. I guess I just want to know what the rest of the council's feeling is on that letter that went out, and if there is money to find, can we find it? If not, as your liaison, I'm going to bring it up. So
I'll eat the bullet. That email was followed up by an email from our city administrator, and I stand 100% along where he stands with this entire topic. I would be against the increase at this point.
Me too.
Any other comments on that?
I'll add in 2 cents. Now that we've got a handle on our fund balances, I'll reach out to Mr. Link and Deb and discuss the process of potentially if they want to utilize their fund balance, how that process moves forward for them to do that. There is a healthy fund balance at the cemetery, and again, I think, as I shared with the council, we're gonna have a future workshop on the cemetery to talk about a number of things, ultimately property ownership, organizational structure. I think it's the only group in the city, as I pointed out in the email, that doesn't have a voting council member on their board. And I think any increase in funding, I'm not saying that it's not needed. Everyone needs more funding. I just think it would behoove the council to look at having representation, voting representation on their board, as we go through a number of kind of identifiable organizational improvements that we in our working relationship with the cemetery.
Alder Lawson, did you have?
Can we review that fund balance policy before you direct them to spend money out of the funds?
That's a great point, and I know I've talked to Michael, I've talked to a couple of you about this. With the fund balances, we have a policy for the general fund balance, but we don't have for any of the other special revenue funds. And I think it would behoove the council to look at a policy that established a base rate of, is that 25 or 33%, or some number of the annual operation to keep in the fund balance, and then anything that exceeds that could be used as that committee or the council deems fit for projects related to that fund's work.
Alder Reed.
Thank you. Just a general question of wondering if we might be able to come to some type of arrangement at something for the city to have a part-time DPW worker that would do some of the mowing. I mean, I know with the current staffing levels, that would be impossible. The cemetery is heavy, very careful work, but I just know that the mowing and maintenance is such a huge part of their budget, and that they, have some needs.
Yeah, our biggest challenge with DPW mowing is that we need eligible employees willing to work April to October during that growing season. And with school extending into June, it used to be we relied on, when I first started, we used a lot of high school students to help with mowing, and there's a very short window that they're available that doesn't quite match the growing season. So we have two gentlemen retired, do a phenomenal job. They start mowing on Monday. If they get a full 5-day mowing, that's pretty rare with weather, but they essentially start their route back over on Monday. So as long as the grass is growing, and this year we didn't have any drought, the grass grew pretty consistently all summer long. You don't always count on that, but essentially the two people that we have that do a bulk of our mowing, there isn't capacity to add to their route. If we could find two more, that could be a game changer, but it's a hard position to fill, because it's a very limited pool that, if you were going to say seasonals could mow, you want to commit to that entire growing season, because the challenge in the shoulder seasons is what are you going to do in the spring and fall if you've only got summer seasonal staff.
Okay. Alder Rested.
I would just ask that for that workshop or whatever we decide to do, can we get an understanding where the 266 came from? The 266,000, like, there has to be a paper trail. I mean, in the way you explain it is money made above years previous goes into the fund balance, or how you want to do it, or to moving forward. Can we just get a nailed down answer on how that cemetery board accrued that much money, and now we're having issues basically funding them.
I challenge that we're having issues funding them. We've almost doubled their tax subsidy in 2 years.
Correct, but at some point, they were way above and banking money into a fund.
By my looks on things, they still are.
Okay.
They're not spending the budgeted funds that they have in certain areas. Their revenues are exceeding their expenses in the last 2 budgets. So they're putting money each year into the fund balance.
Okay. Thank you.
Alder Lawson.
So my question was not cemetery, so just want to double check, are we done? That
Well,
one.
yeah, you
Okay.
can move on to,
You had stated a different number than I saw for the general fund revenue, the updated general fund revenue. Can you tell me that number again?
Total general fund revenue
Yeah.
should be on the bottom of page 4 of the budget. I don't have the packet directly in front of me, so I'm trying to find page 4 of the budget document. I think that's page 6 of your budget packet. Total general fund revenue is $5,374,112.95.
Okay. That matches.
Which
Yeah,
should then
okay.
match the expenses on the bottom of page 19.
Only rewrote it 76 times now.
Yep. Yep, thank you.
Okay.
okay, any further discussion on the budget as presented? Hearing none, then let's have a roll call, please.
Finkler.
Aye.
Rostand.
Aye.
Meyer.
Aye.
Relke.
Aye.
Lawson.
Aye.
Reed.
Aye.
Ayes have it, 6-0.
Okay, thank you. Next on the agenda is to consider and approve the appointment of Randall Myram as Utility Director. The Utility Commission had met on October 30th and recommended the appointment of this person to that spot.
So move.
Second.
Okay, motion by Alder Rossed, second by Alder Meyer. Any discussion? Alder Rossed?
We have a tentative start date? Did I
Monday.
miss it?
Monday, November 10th.
Perfect. Thank you.
I would just highlight, as I did at the Utility Commission meeting, Randall is coming to us from Lake Mills. A very thorough candidate. During the interview process, he referenced our utility rate cases in electric and water and asked if we were going out, which we're in the process of reviewing both of those. He also shared a capital improvement document that is going to elevate our current presentation of our capital improvement plan, and really looking forward to him joining our team.
Alder Meyer?
I don't really have any comments other than I think this type of hire within a city of our size really shows the investment that we've made into our employees over the last several years as a city. Not only that, but it shows the atmosphere that Matt and the department heads have swung, we'll say, from a very toxic at times throughout the city to people actually want to come and work here. So kudos to you guys.
All right, thanks.
I second that.
Okay.
Not that it was a motion.
Right, anything further on that? Then would look for, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Thank you. Then, next is to consider and take actions on the claims in the amount of $166,173.78.
Move to pay the claims in the amount of $166,173.78.
Second.
Okay, motion by Alder Meyer, second by Alder Lawson. Any discussion on the claims? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Reed.
Aye.
Relke. Aye. Lawson.
Aye.
Meyer.
Aye.
Finkler. Aye. Rostad.
Aye.
Ayes have it, 6-0.
Okay, thank you. Report.
I briefly want to just thank everyone involved in the budget process. I thought I knew municipal finance. I didn't know anything. I love learning. I learned a lot in this process, and I think will help me in future budgets be hopefully more of an advisor and helpful than having to do it. But it was a great experience. I appreciate the council kind of working through a lot of edits, a lot of kind of adjustments as we went through. I think it should be noted, we've made a substantial increase to compensation for our police department. We've done across the board 2.5% for our staff. We've weathered a 8.5% insurance and healthcare increase, and have maintained all of our services. That is going to continue to be a challenge in our current financial environment. It's great to have the 26 budget completed, but I'm concerned about 27 and moving forward. So, thank you.
Well, I would like to thank all the council members, but also, more importantly, Matt and Susan and Kendra and other staff that have put a lot of work, I know Matt has had some sleepless nights, and it is very well appreciated, everything that they have gone through. I would also like to thank all those who have contributed to a safe trick-or-treating experience. Although I didn't have a whole lot of kids at my house, I'm watching up at Ludington Street, and I'm seeing crowds. They must have been heading down to the fire station and where else. But it was still, and I got to say, there were a lot of middle school, high schooler. I've never had kids be so polite and just having fun, and it was a positive experience and great to see. So I would look for a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn. Second.
Okay, motion by Alder Finkler, second by Alder Rolke to adjourn. Discussions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? We are adjourned. Hunter,